So while Carla's setting that up, I also want to welcome all of you. This conference, as Carla so eloquently ran through, has been sort of 2 years in the making, and we've now come to a point where from that meeting that we had 2 years ago in New York, we've now set an initiative now to have conferences in different parts of this country and other countries. Excuse me, similar to this one, we're doing one in Minneapolis, and Carla's graciously agreed to come, and then we're going to be doing one in Israel. Where we have Andrew Chanin coming, and also Carla and Blaise Aguirre from McLean Hospital and some other speakers. But our goal really is to strike out on this early prevention. Last night, some of us had dinner at the hotel that probably was servicing a lot of families who have relatives in the hospital, and I kept looking around the room, and there was a woman there with her adult daughters, and I assumed then it was probably her husband in the hospital, and then there was another family who had probably a grandchild, and that grandparent was in the hospital, and I thought, well, that's certainly life's trajectory. We do expect at some point that people will get sick, and that's all very sad when that happens. But it doesn't have to happen in this BPD community, and we don't have to have people lingering in this disorder, and the way to really address that is to get in early and do early prevention. And that's what we're all about here, is to make sure that those families don't spend decades in the BPD community. It's one of the few psychiatric disorders where it's not a lifelong illness. And I'll show you some slides tomorrow where families indicate what were the earliest signs they saw and at what age. And it spikes at such a young age and then goes down into the 20s and 30s. So why are we waiting beyond 18 to get these high-risk adolescents into treatment? So that's my pitch. And in terms of NEA, we're a not-for-profit excuse me, organization. We started 15 years ago. We're all volunteer. It's our passion to be working with the organization. Tomorrow you'll also hear about a family program that we believe at this point is probably the program of choice to work with adolescent families, and we hope that maybe we can interest some of you in becoming Family Connections leaders. But our goal is to get the word out, and actually we're very proud to say that if you Google borderline personality disorder, we come up number 2, which we were like, yes. So I want to find out who's number 1. Number 1 is NIMH. So last month when we were down at NIMH, we sort of joked with Bruce Cuthbert, who was the acting director, and then said, we got to beat you. And he came up with an even better idea. He said, no, we have to link to your website. We thought, okay, that's an even better idea. So with that, we hope that you'll join this initiative. As Carla said, this is our first step at doing that. I also do want to mention Project 375. That's a project that was started by Brandon Marshall, who was a football player, and he identifies himself as having borderline personality disorder and has been doing some quite amazing things. And about 2.5 years ago, I got a message on Twitter, what is your address? So I didn't know who it was. It was the Brandon Marshall Foundation trying to locate us. They donated some money to us. That money, the first half of that money went to fund that APA meeting, the meeting we had at the APA conference 2 years ago, and the other half of that is helping to underwrite some of the expenses here. So we thank Project 375. There's literature that they've sent to us that's arriving at my hotel midday, so later on we'll have some more information on what they're doing, but if you Google Brandon Marshall, you can also read about all the wonderful things that they're doing. And just in closing, I'd like to share with you 30 seconds of a clip from a mom, Lynn Curry-Menu, who is from Canada, who has taken Canada by storm. And we'll talk a little more about her tomorrow, but I just want you to be introduced to her as we kick off this conference.
Hello everyone. I'm here today to share Sasha Minikuri's story. I'm here today because as a mother, I lost my daughter to borderline personality disorder. Sasha died by suicide on June 17, 2011. She had just turned 20. We want to prevent other teenagers and families from going through a similar tragic story. What Sasha and us went through is preventable. And I believe that all together we can create a wave of awareness to defeat the stigma surrounding mental illness and make a difference for others. Yes, together I believe we can.
Thank you.